Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1235. I think that's a password for a lot of people. 1235. 1235. My name is Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway. Located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today, we're going to hear from John Deere the engineer, Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and we will do a segment called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The MIKELOPEDIA Insanica, because we're going to look back at the life
Mike's Daily Podcast
of someone that we lost. Well, I guess I should say something about John Glenn. He was an astronaut. Did you see The Right Stuff, man? That movie that was all about those guys that got shot up into space when everybody was like, what? Space? What's that? No, everybody said that. They didn't know what space was. There was
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Everybody was like, space, the final frontier. These are the voyages
Mike's
of
Daily
William Shatner.
Podcast.
But things have changed.
Yeah.
We know all about space now. We got so many pictures of space. We got satellites up in space. We've got the space station, International Space Station. We got Lance Bass going up into space. Didn't he go up into space? He didn't. We got SpaceX. We're all about the stars, my friend. We're all about that and lakes. Getting into the lakes, not this time of year. Unless you're gonna ice. I've never ice skated on a lake. Isn't that sad? That's a sad statement from a Californian who wants to secede from America because the Electoral College is favoring small, tiny little podunk towns where they're like, I don't want to have a woman president. Clinton Foundation. Oh, and we also have another segment today called, what is it called? Oh, the emails from email and your not so comments, because Haley has chimed in with a couple of interesting comments. So, but no, Haley and I, we were just laughing at this little thing.
They took our job!
They took our job!
They took our job! They took our job! They took your job! They took your job! They took your job! They took your job!
The dirt. Somebody made that and put it in the computer at our work. And it just, we were playing, every time we play it, Ailey and I laugh. Hey, look who just walked in.
Hello, Mike Matthews, it's Chely Shoehart, the chef supervisor. That's really juvenile what you're laughing at.
Why, Chely?
Because it makes no sense. Why is dirt to dirt funny? I don't get it.
Because it's just so loud and we laugh at it because it's really bad audio, for one thing, because somebody edited it and chopped it up like that. I don't think that's exactly how it sounded. That's from South Park, by the way. If you didn't recognize the voice, it's either Trey Stone or Matt or Trey. I know those are the two guys. I forget everyone's names, but I can't remember everyone's names. Look who else just walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere the engineer. They took our jobs. Dur. Yeah. Who? What? No. I left radio for about 5 years, and I was surprised that my job was not taken by a computer. That you still need people to chop up shows, to record people, to make them sound good or halfway decent, to chop out their sneezes. Oh, I feel one coming on right now.
Absolutely
Wrong.
proved over and over again.
Wrong.
He actually advocated for the actions we took in Libya.
Wrong.
Thank you. Well, now I'm just being silly. Okay, so what happened was lakes. Well, we're going to talk about a really specific lake in just a little bit. I also wanted to mention, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, that's who it was. My hands are so chapped right now. The air is so dry in the Bay Area. And I mean, they're practically bloodied. And people don't even care. They're like, oh yeah, that just happens to everyone here in the Bay Area. What the? And I'm putting lotion on them and everything. I don't know. I use my hands a lot, and they're getting all chapped up. Speaking of the Bay Area, I am so sick of the peninsula prejudice going on. The people on the peninsula side, they look at the East Bay like we're a bunch of degenerates. We're a basket full of deplorables, and I'm getting sick of it. We have our own little left coast. We've got this weird dichotomy going on here in the Bay Area. People on the peninsula tend to be a little bit richer, tend to have nicer houses. But if you live in the peninsula, you can't move. There's too much traffic everywhere you go. Food is way too crazy expensive priced. And then over here on the East Bay, we've got that sort of starting to happen now. I guess, yeah, houses are expensive. It's getting expensive to eat out, but I just don't like the prejudice. I hear so many Peninsulians staring down the nose at me, of their noses. They're staring down them.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I dated a girl that I had met on OkCupid that was such a prejudiced Peninsulian. Oh my God. She would say, and then she hated coming over to Castro Valley. Just hated it. And speaking of Castro Valley, now we've had 2 homicides. Yet I feel as if Castro Valley is more unified, and I don't think we're going to let that stand. We're not going to let this sort of thing happen. I think we have a very booming Facebook page. That's where it all starts, is with the Facebook. Listen to the last show. Facebook makes things real. But there's also this new website called Nextdoor, and a lot of Castro Valleyans are signed up on that. And it just we're taking our town back, our little unincorporated town back. No more homicides. No to the frickin' crack houses and making the meth and all that. We're not going to do that here in Podcastro Valley. So I'm feeling like we're more unified, and we got to try. We got to try, people. With our chapped hands. We're going to clap our chapped hands. Ow! The podcast picture, by the way, is not of Podcastro Valley. It's of me, Mike Matthews, your host, standing in front of the Macy's in the Union Square in the San Francisco on the peninsula. And I am awash in the glow of Christmas, of commercial Christmas. And Macy's, I almost bought a jacket from Macy's. I almost bought a coat from Macy's. And then I thought to myself, if I wear this coat, I will look for sure not Mike. Not Mike at all. I will look like a character from a 1960s Batman episode. So I said no. No to that. And no to homicides. And no, and yes to unified Podcastro Valley. I hope your town is unified too. Through your Facebook page and your So MikesDailyPodcast.com is where you can see all those past podcast pictures, hear past interviews, like the one I did with Robert Jacobson back, I think, in 2011. Robert Jacobson just got his PhD. Yeah. Where's my big freaking applause effect? And so there you go. So happy for him. He worked hard. He studies rocks. He's a rockologist, whereas I love rock. But you don't get a PhD for studying rock music. Although I think a friend of mine in England was trying to get his degree in music research, musicology. But yeah, that's what he did. Robert Jacobson. You can hear an old interview that I did with him back when he was trying so hard to get through the system of academia. And now he has done it. He has whipped academia's ass. And he had the big graduation day was yesterday. Way to go, Robert Jacobson. I look forward to having you on the show. I'm not going to interview bands like I mentioned in a previous show because I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of how I'm treated by bands, except for cool bands like The Go Ahead and Constant Coogan and Kai Alfred Hillig. He's awesome. And Daniel G. Harmon. Hear all their interviews, and they're fantastic, fantastic music. They can be back on, but I'm sick of the... You can go back to a past podcast and hear why I'm so irate about... I'm irated. But first, we've got this little thing to do.
Oh my god!
Email for email and your calm and not so calm mess.
What's on your financial pea-picking mind?
Yeah! Fantastic Haley has been chiming in and emailing me and sending me calm and not so comments. Well, these are pretty calm comments. But Haley's been listening to the past couple of shows, and he said, remember I was talking about the snake eating its tail, eating itself, and how that was the logic that Republicans had to use to completely explain and justify how what they used to say about Hillary, they're okay. What they were saying against her is okay with Trump, and the fact that Trump's putting a lot of people from Goldman Sachs on his team and his cabinet, and that all the Republicans were yelling at Hillary for that, talking to them, giving speeches to them, being paid for speeches to them. Well, the tail-eating snake is called Ouroboros, says Haley. Fun fact. Thank you for that, Haley. The tail-eating snake is called an Ouroboros. And the other thing Haley chimed in about was, on the last show, I was trying to explain that Facebook video that they make for you for the end of the year and how mine is depressing because it pulls the pictures that got the most likes or got the most comments or the most reactions. And the most reactions I got was like 10 for one thing. 10 was the most. And, most people get like 800, 5,000. He said that thing that they're showing in the video with one thing triggering off another thing, one thing leading to another, is either a Tube Goldberg machine or a Rube Goldberg machine, because Haley mistyped, which is so often possible to do, especially when you're using a Droid phone, or the fix. That's right. One thing leads to another. Cy Kernan. Oh, such great music.
Mike Matthews, you played that already.
Oh, sorry, Chely.
It's okay, Mike Matthews. I like the movie Elf.
What?
Elf.
You stink like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa.
Oh, okay.
Just wanted to let you know.
Perfect. Go to Mike'sDailyPodcast.com and tell me what you want me to know. And you can also win on this little Christmas thing.
Mike's Yuletide Personalized MP3 for Thee contest.
Yes, the Yuletide Personalized MP3 for Thee contest, where you simply, all you have to do is email me, Mike'sDailyPodcast@gmail.com. Tell me what you like or hate about the show. And if we read it on the show, you'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters wishing you a Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, or whatever you want us to wish you. Hanukkah. It's all there, Mike'sDailyPodcast.com, and the Amazon link. Click on that, buy whatever it is you're going to buy, and that helps us out. There's also the link to PayPal. If you do that, you'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. And there's this little thing called Life. Oh, we were discussing Life last show. Yes. That was a wonderful... We got heavy in the last show. This show, not so much. So far, we've just been talking about lakes. Oh, we're going to talk about a very special lake in just a moment, though. How do you keep a turkey in suspense? I'll tell you tomorrow. You were so slow on that. Finally. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Now...
The MIKELOPEDIA Insanica.
So Mike has a podcast that it has some hilarity in it that I've not yet heard, actually. But
the Wow That's Wild Files. What This is so wild and sad. Oh, wait. No, it's the MIKELOPEDIA INSANICA. What? I'm not even listening to my own show. That's pretty bad. Hey, though, I've been getting a lot of downloads lately, and I don't know what's causing it. I think some new bot found me. Thank you, bot. Shazbot. But that goes back to the 70s and Mork and Mindy. But another band from the 70s. Oh, hey, first off, let's play a little bit of... we're talking about Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And the lake in Emerson, Lake and Palmer was Greg Lake. And, you know, I have to tell you, everybody talks about, oh, what a lucky man he was. Or, welcome to the show. But I really like this one.
All systems go, friend or foe. It's all dependent on the dice you throw. Couple out of warning like a UFO. You're running with the devil, it's touch and go.
That's my favorite one. And then, of course, he did this little Christmas song. He did this as a single without Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Hallelujah, Christmas we get we deserve.
Oh, I should point out that actually that was the first thing I played was Emerson, Lake and Powell because Palmer had left. Now Palmer's the only one alive of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Keith Emerson died recently. Greg Lake now has died. He was 69. He was one of the co-founders of King Crimson and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and a prog rock pioneer. Prog rock. Oh, you can find, there are a lot of bands that do kind of the prog rock genre still, young bands, but it was an interesting era of kind of fusing the classical music with rock instruments. Manager Stuart Young said in a statement that Lake died on Wednesday after a long and stubborn battle with cancer, is what the quote says. Born in the southern English seaside town of Poole in 1947, he founded King Crimson with guitarist Robert Fripp. In the late 60s, the band pioneered the sprawling, ambitious genre that came to be known as progressive rock. He went on to form ELP with keyboardist Keith Emerson and drummer Carl Palmer. Carl Palmer went on to Asia, the band It Was the Heat of the Moment. He played with them, and along with John Wetton, who was also of King Crimson, and Steve Howe of Yes, and Jeffrey Downs, who was with Yes for a while, and who was with the Buggles, and Video Killed the Radio Star. But the interesting thing about Greg Lake, John Wetton left Asia for a while, and Greg Lake came in and was the lead singer of Asia during a tour. He did not record an album with them, however. With Lake as vocalist and guitarist, ELP impressed the crowds at the 1970s Isle of Wight Festival. Isn't it Isle of... Yeah. In a lineup that also featured Jimi Hendrix and The Who. The band released 6 platinum-selling albums, only 6, characterized by songs of epic length, classical influence, and ornate imagery, and toured with elaborate light shows and theatrical staging, according to the AP. Emerson, Lake and Palmer's 1973 album Brain Salad Surgery, which a friend of mine in college played that all the time, included a nearly 30-minute composition called Carn Evil 9 that featured a Moog synthesizer and the eerie carnival-like lyric, "Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends." They filled stadiums and sold records by the millions, but ELP and other prog rock bands such as Yes, the Moody Blues, and others suffered a backlash with the arrival of, even Genesis, the arrival of punk in the mid to late 70s. They were ridiculed as the embodiment of pomposity and self-indulgence that rock supposedly stood against. ELP broke up in 79, reunited in 19... Actually, that's not true. Well, then turned into ELP with Emerson, Lake and Powell in the 80s. Reunited in 91. They actually had a Emerson, Lake and someone else for a while, other than Powell, and his last name didn't start with a P, so they were kind of like ELW or something, and people were, what? But they did reunite in 1991, the original band, later disbanded again and reunited for a 2010 tour. You could have seen them as recently as 2010. Emerson died in March from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at his home in Santa Monica, California. Wow. Oh, I didn't realize how recent that was. Dang. Lake's songs as a solo artist included that I Believe in Father Christmas that I played you, an enduring seasonal staple first released in 1975. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. So play a little prog rock this weekend, or listen to country. You can listen to my show on Country Crossroads Radio. I'll be on in the afternoon on Saturday and Sunday, playing prog country. Is there such a thing? Charlie Daniels kind of goes that direction, but we play some bluegrass. Some people think of bluegrass as an interesting homage in some ways to prog rock because of the layered, the interesting directions that the music can take sometimes. It doesn't stick always to the same, 3 verses, 3 choruses, 1 bridge type thing. Like a bridge over troubled water that looks like a lake, I would skate on that lake till I find a cake. Oh yeah. Next show, Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!